Thank you so for staying with us, everyone, and welcome back. In July this year, Nigerian lawmakers voted for financial autonomy for the local government during the constitution amendment process. But that's a process within a process. I still have my guest, Honorable West Ida, who's a lawyer and a former federal lawmaker in our Abuja studio. And here in the Lagos studio is Mr. Yinka Odumakin, spokesperson to the Southern Leaders Forum and a member of the 2014 Confab. Many thanks, gentlemen, for staying with us on the program. If I may come to you in Abuja, as it stands right now, there are a lot of people who support, some people did not support the Constitution Amendment process. But if you look at the what the National Assembly members have said on local government, do you think there is a way forward in the manner in which they voted on the local government?
Well, I don't see why there won't be a way forward. There has to be a modification of government systems of our local environment. Don't forget that we cannot completely copy other environments. We still have to do some system modification. So I think their choice in respect of their behavior with council autonomy was largely based on the local inputs that they got from the country. And clearly speaking, the majority of people live in the local environment and all the LGAs, as they call them. In those days, we had very functional systems. Those who have observed the local government development in the last couple of years will tell you that it is completely stunted. It has become a development dwarf. And there's no use to have a tier of government which cannot function merely because it is being overwhelmed by state apparatus. So I think the National Assembly should take it seriously. Until we complete our restructuring process, all tiers of government should be allowed to survive so that they can be restructured together. That's my take on the way I think we should go.
Honorable Ida, when you see people take to the streets in the manner we've seen them in the past days, and the debate over restructuring keeps coming to the table, the federal government, for example, there is the 2014 confab on one hand, there is the manner in which the federal government says it wants to approach it, and there is the National Assembly on the other hand. But with the urgency of the issue at hand, what do you think may be the best way to tackle these issues?
Well, there's no shortcut. We're in a rule of law. The only way is to channel your inputs through the National Assembly. The Council of States can only recommend. At this moment, the only body that is charged by law to implement these legal reforms in the National Assembly. So we have to put the pressure right there. If we have any inputs from the confab, we have to send it to the National Assembly for consideration. Otherwise, there is no other way that you can bring the confab report into legal mechanism. The constitution that we operate is functional, and it is the basis upon which this government was elected, and on the basis upon which the social contract between the government and the people of Nigeria have been signed. We cannot deviate from it. We can only improve that document for good functionalism.
So in essence, Honorable Ida, for those who are saying, okay, 1963 Constitution may be the best bet for us for what we have seen so far, that means it might be a non-issue, isn't it?
Well, that's an academic wish. It's an ideological hope, but it's not likely to be because I haven't seen where there is a complete substitution of one constitution for another by a parliament whose power will be eroded in the process. Don't forget that politics is about who gets what, how, and when. The National Assembly is occupying space in the Nigerian political environment. It will be difficult for them to ease themselves out and substitute themselves completely with a new constitution. So I think we may end up with the piecemeal amendments that we are doing, and that should be the ideal. Inputs should come from the environment, and then we monitor and ensure that the pressure is kept on them. After all, they are our servants. We elected them.
Mr. Odumakin, is it not a lost case for your group and some of the leaders who are clamoring for restructuring, considering the legal framework that we currently operate? Look at what the former lawmaker and the lawyers have said, based on what we have on ground.
I think that's a contradiction in terms with due respect. In one breath, Honorable Dasa started to say as if the National Assembly is the sovereignty rests with them. In another breath, he's saying that they are our servants. And the 1999 Constitution is talking about, yes, it's the legal document we have now, but it's not legitimate. How did that Constitution come about? Did we have any input to that Constitution? This was a Constitution drafted by one professor for Sani Abacha. When Absalami came, they set up a Autonomy committee. They went around. The man who was to be president tinkered with the document. As at the time President Obasanjo was sworn in 1999, there was no clean copy of this Constitution. Now, to now tell us that that is the only basis of resolving a nationality question.
Do you have any other basis, Mr. Odumakin?
There is, of course.
What are the other bases?
The National Assembly that I was talking about today, they are lawmakers. They are not the ones to make constitutions. The constitutions create them.
But they can amend the constitution.
This constitution cannot be amended. It's a bad document. Every page of it spells doom for this country. That's why we're here. We are. So what we need
for a sovereign nation. Can you displace a constitution with what?
With another constitution.
Where would you find it?
There's a process. There's a process. We can have a constitutional assembly. But as it is, he said it right. Those who have emerged through this constitution, who cannot even tell us what they are any, who are not expected to kind of do away with the constitution. But the constitution is not working. It has improved in so many ways. And therefore, we need an autochthonous constitution. The 1999 constitution is not autochthonous. It lies on the opening page when I say we the people. Where did the people? When they put input into that constitution? It
seems that the group you belong to gave a deadline and they say, look, before the 2019 election, there must be this conference and must be sovereign. What is the implication of that deadline that your group gave?
The implication, what we are saying is that we want this issue of constitution resolved before we go for another elections.
Why?
Because once we go for another elections, we have signed for 4 years more. I mean, in 2015, some people came, they put in their manifesto, they restructured Nigeria to true federalism. You see, black and white is their constitution. Today now they're telling us that, like Lamame was saying yesterday, saying that he went out to 10 people, they have 10 different meanings of restructuring. What did they understand when they put in their constitution? So that's the way of politicians. So once we surrender to other elections without resolving this matter, we have signed for another 4 years.
It's always an interesting one to discuss these issues. It's going to be an ongoing conversation that we keep having until we get the best for our nation. We do love this country very much. Oh, yeah. Many thanks, gentlemen. Mr. Wesley Dawes, a former lawmaker and a lawyer, thank you so much for your thoughts. Mr. Yinka Odumakin, spokesperson of the Southern Leaders Forum. But before we go, there are some decisions expected to be taken not because it is political, popular, or safe, but because it is for the common good. That's how we leave it tonight on the program. Many thanks for being part of it, everyone. I'm Sean Wakimbale. Bye for now.